and welcome to You Get the Gist. I'm Michelle Mastone. This is a program where we hope to give you the flavor of some creative works of people in our midst and get some insight into their personalities and creative processes. Tonight we have for our guest Professor Dan Sklar from Endicott College. Welcome, Professor Sklar.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thanks for coming.
I love your shoes.
Oh, thank you.
You guys get these shoes, please, because it matches your eyes and your glass.
Thank you. I can tell you're a poet. I was going to introduce you as Professor Dan Sklar, but you also write. How do you define yourself? Or do you introduce yourself in a certain way?
I'm just a regular guy. I'm a person. I'm a human being. I'm a bicycle rider and a canoe person.
Okay, I didn't realize.
I don't define myself any way at all.
So if I say Professor Dan Sklar, that's
nice.
Pretty encompassing.
I'll accept it.
Okay, thank you. Tonight we're here to talk about, this is your newest book, is this correct?
That's right.
Selected Poems, Bicycles, Canoes, Drums.
Yes.
The last book I read of yours, I think, was called Hack Writer. Can you tell me, is that a confession or an adoption of someone else's characterization of your work?
Well, it is. I like to think of myself as a hack writer because I think that's a standard to reach. And if I can reach hackdom, I'm happy.
How do you define that? What does that mean?
Oh, something that someone wants to read and it doesn't change their life or anything, but they say, that's not bad. That's okay. I'll accept that.
Does it have anything to do with establishment or non-establishment kind of writing? Or?
Well, that's a very good question. That's very insightful on your part. Because I'm trying not to be established.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Because from some of your reading, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. I think I'm proud of hackness.
Okay. So is this in the same genre then? Some of these are older poems and some of these are new.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have a favorite in this book, in this collection?
Oh, gosh, I love them all.
So you couldn't pick?
You could open to any page, and I'll say, that's the one.
Okay. That was the moment.
They're like your kids. You don't have a favorite kid. You love them equally.
I do. My oldest is right now. Have you always been a writer? Early on? High school? Writing poems?
No, because it wasn't accepted. And it was kind of...
By whom?
Oh, by my parents and the people around me. Like, I always wanted to inside, but it was never a thing to be. So I was a good boy, and I did what they told me to do. And they said, I wanted to be an artist. And the minute I'd say that, oh, you can't be an artist. Because
of the money or because of the status?
Oh, because everything. Both status, money, you'll be starving, you won't get any ahead. And they only had my benefits at heart. It wasn't to be mean to me or anything like that. But if you mentioned being an artist or an actor or a writer, it's the end of the world.
So when did it happen for you? When were you able to be a writer in your own eyes?
Well, it went all the way up to college, right through college, and then to law school.
You went to law school?
For 2 weeks. Emory Law School in Atlanta, Georgia.
And right up to that moment, did you think you wanted to be a lawyer, or you were just going on the
I said I wanted to be, but in my mind, I wanted to be an actor or a writer, or I wasn't sure exactly what art I wanted. I knew I wanted one art. And I loved to write. I loved to read poetry, and I loved to read. So I thought, I want to write. And I remember the day I quit law school, I was there for 2 weeks and took a train back from Georgia to Manhattan, to my mother's apartment. I was 21, and I had just quit law school, and my mother said, on her way out to play bridge at the Cavendish Whist Club, she said, well, now what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know, but I knew.
You didn't want to say?
Yeah.
So then that set you on a different path.
That's right.
How would you say, did you have any classes in college that fostered that feeling of writing? I mean, you had to take English classes. Did you take writing classes that were interesting to you? Or?
Not till after.
No,
it was all, I was not a very good student. Because I don't like people telling me what to do and what to write and how to write. So it was like really difficult for me.
Well, are you defining good student as someone who gets good grades? I mean, because you could be a good student and you could have learned a lot. You could have gotten something. Did you get something out of that education?
Oh, I got something out of everything.
So
absolutely. I didn't get something out of things, bad classes and bad teachers.
Could that be a good student? Yeah.
Well, I guess I was defining it the way they would see it. I always thought I was a good student.
Yeah.
I got a D in economics. And I actually kind of liked that course. And I kind of liked the teacher. And then I got a D in it. And I said, well, I didn't say this to him, but I thought, hey, I liked it. And I just, oh, well.
Yeah. Maybe that pushed you further towards the arts?
Well,
that economics wasn't coming together for you?
I wasn't really interested in economics.
Yeah, but you enjoyed the course. How do you define success or failure for your writing, or do you?
Yeah, that's a very good question. If I write something and it makes me feel I've expressed myself and I've created something that I think is beautiful, I feel that maybe that's successful. And if I've written something that doesn't please me that much, I just keep writing until it does. So there's no failure. I just keep going.
Now, I know a lot of writers, artists say that everything is political. If you're sort of not being political, that's a political statement. Do you have any thoughts about that, or is it truth is beauty, beauty is truth in terms of your writing, or do you have political thoughts when you write particular pieces?
Well, I like to think of myself as loving everybody and the whole world. And I don't know about political, I don't know about truth or beauty, but I know I try and make something that makes me feel good. And I think that people should help other people as far as political goes. I don't think they should be, I think that people who have power should help the powerless people. Mm-hmm. I think maybe there's an underlying radical idea of simplicity in my poetry.
Thoreauishness?
Because really, yes, definitely. Thoreau is a major influence. And I love the idea of simplicity. I think if maybe, in a sense, that is political. It's a counter-friction, as Thoreau said, be a counter-friction to the machine. And I think that I'm trying to be a counter-friction to the machine of materialism, the machine of hating other people, the machine of war. Freud said anything that fosters culture and art works at the same time against war.
So it's an underlying, when you sit down to write a poem, you don't have these goals in mind, but you think the way you write.
Yeah, but it's in my soul and in my spirit.
It's who you are.
So it's exactly, it's who I am. So everything I write just comes right from my soul and spirit. And those are in there.
If you could give some advice to, most of our audience is college students, and there was someone that wanted to be a writer or an actor or something that maybe isn't right now, what would you give them for a little suggestion of how to test that water, maybe?
God, that's a tough question, because you don't want to tell students to do something that goes against their family, that goes against everything. They have to want it so badly that nothing else matters, especially at this point, being in 20s and 18, 19, 20. You've just got to want it so badly that it's pouring out of you. And if it doesn't come pouring out of you, maybe you're not ready. So keep looking for something else. I would never say drop everything. I mean, all those years that I went to college, 4 years of college, didn't know what I wanted. Then after college, I went to acting school. None of those things, I didn't become those things, but they all contributed to it. So if you're thinking you want to be a writer, but you're majoring in, say, communications, stick with communications. See what happens.
So even a D in economics can be useful.
A D in economics can be useful.
So
yes.
stick with it.